This is a 2015 limited edition kit from Fos Scale Models, and it's called Printer's Row. The Printer's Row kit is made up of 6 structures, although this video is based on the bookbinder structure. But the first thing I did was take all of the component parts, check that they were there, and then split them into the 6 different structures. You can see that the bookbinder is a pretty simple 2-storey structure, so here I'm just laying out the parts, making sure that they're all clean, ready to start painting. On a large kit like this, there's lots of lumber, so the first thing I do is split them up into the different sizes, and I just tape them onto a sheet of card so it's easy to get hold of when I'm ready for the pieces. The first thing to do is make sure that all the building parts are properly braced. There's full instructions in the kit about how to do this. The instructions with the kit show you exactly where to glue the bracing, so that when you do start painting it, the sides of the buildings won't warp. The glue I use is Eileen's tacky glue. If you're in England, you can buy the similar glue in Hobbycraft. The bottle looks exactly the same, although it's called something different. Bracing's really important, and it must be in the right place, so take your time and follow the instructions. For this piece, I've just sanded it so it fits the shape of the side of the building. For this side of the structure, it's important to put the bracing a little bit in from the edge so that you can join the 2 sides together. So here are all the pieces braced and ready for the next stage. The first stage is using ammo streaking grime. I use this as a stain and apply it to all of the different pieces. As you can see, it's heavier in some parts than others, and that's perfect because I want this building to have a dilapidated look. I love doing this with stain, just fully loading the brush and rubbing it along the edge. You just get this superb effect. colours I've used here are a Vallejo sky blue and an off-white, and a blue craft paint. I'm using off-white for all of the wood trim and barge boards. I apply it using a sponge and use hardly any paint at a time, and this is to give it that peeled paint look. I'd like the barge boards and the wood trim to be a darker colour. So here I'm mixing up some India ink stain. I'm using black and brown India ink mixed in with isopropyl alcohol. And I just test the stain out on a scrap piece of wood to make sure it's the right colour before I carry on and stain the rest of the barge boards. For the walls of the structure, I'm using a mixture of a craft paint, and I'm putting in a bit of a Vallejo as well. It doesn't really matter what paint you like. The reason I like to use craft paints rather than more specialist paints is that they are thicker, because the way that I use this technique is to put hardly any of the colour onto the brush. Now I want a really old dilapidated peeled paint look, so I'm making sure that I leave lots of gaps so that we can see the stain from underneath. The final effect is just what I was looking for, a really old dilapidated building with the paint peeling off. I really like the way that these doors have turned out. For the windows and the doors, I've just used a sponge to lightly apply the different colours, and then I've gone on top of that with ammo washes, particularly to give the rusting and the dirty effects. Now with all the windows and doors painted, it's time to simply stick them together, and here I use tacky glue. I really like the roof on this kit. It's a mansard roof and it's covered with tar paper. Now the way that I make tar paper is to take black cardboard, and then I use a grey primer and just lightly sprinkle it all over the card. I cut strips 1 centimetre wide. I don't want the tar paper roof to look new, I want it to look old and tarnished. So here I'm just using a piece of rough grit sandpaper, and I sand down the cardboard. Don't be worried if you make holes in it, because it makes it even more realistic. And then it's a simple matter of gluing them down to the cardboard that's provided to make the mansard roof. Now for this, I don't use tacky glue because it goes dry too quickly and I need to be able to move the strips around, so I use Mod Podge glue for this. By the way, I must apologise if there's a national shortage of Mod Podge in England. I meant to order a litre, but I accidentally ordered a gallon. On the plus side, I may never have to order Mod Podge glue again. Don't forget to overlap the strips and start with the bottom, working up towards the top of the roof. And once it's all dried, I can simply trim off all the excess. And here I'm just following the instructions to make up the mansard roof. To be fair to Fos Scale Models, it's a really well designed roof. And here I'm just adding edging strips to finish it off. The dormer windows in the roof are fiddly to make, but they're pretty simple. So as I did before, I'm just using an ammo wash. It's a slightly different colour just to give a bit of variety on the model, and just staining all of the parts. And once again, using the sponge technique, hardly any paint on the sponge so that you get that peeled paint look. It's better to go lighter and build the colour up rather than go heavy, because once it's on there, there's no removing it. Not sure cute is the word, but I really like these tiny little roofs for the dormers. Now the really fun bit, adding the different signs and the castings. And here's the porch roof all made up. I'm going to glue it to the side of the building and then use some wires as supports. There are lots of castings in this kit and they really are great. The Dremel is one of those must-have tools. Here I'm just using it to sand down the woodwork so that the roof fits properly. Yeah, that's a great look. I'm really pleased with that. It's amazing just how strong these roofs are. I've had to use the Dremel to make the hole to fit the chimney stack. This last stage is finishing off with some weathering, and here I use ammo washes, a black and a brown, and of course some ammo centenary chocolate just to help me. And this is how you make the magic. First of all, load your brush with white spirit and then just drag that along the boards. Then load your brush up with the wash and drag it over the top of the white spirit and just watch it bleed along those boards. And here you have it, the completed bookbinder part of Printers Row. I really hope you've enjoyed watching the video and maybe you've picked up some tricks and tips. If you've liked it, please do leave a comment and subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe, but it definitely helps me. Thanks for watching.